Stop using conversion LUT during color grading. Instead, learn and understand how to use your color space transform, which is otherwise called CST, to get your perfect color. When converting log footage to Rec 709 in DaVinci Resolve, many beginners reach out for LUTs, which is like a shortcut, but as a colorist, that's not always the best approach. You can see this is my footage here. This footage is actually shot in RAW, Blackmagic RAW. As you can see the setting here, I'm in the color page of DaVinci Resolve. Now I'm going to simplify this tutorial for beginners, so I'll try and avoid complicated explanations. Now if you change here to clip, this is the beauty and the benefit of shooting in RAW. You tend to be able to adjust different parameters at will, and whatever you change here, just like the color temperature, which is in 5600, if I change it to 3200, you can see how the white balance shifts to cold. And this application actually looks like it was done on set and not in post. So that is the beauty of shooting in RAW. It gives you a lot of flexibility. You can always change the saturation contrast level. Even your ISO, you can always adjust it here, and your footage is not compromised at all. A conversion LUT is a fixed transform. It doesn't understand your footage. It simply remaps value based on a predefined look. This often leads to clipped highlight, cross shadows, and inconsistent results, especially if your exposure isn't that perfect. So now with this footage, I went into DaVinci Resolve and I used one of the default Blackmagic conversion LUT to Rec 709. And when I activate it here, look at what I have. You can see the LUT has given me crushed shadows. Now let's change and view from the parade. This is the before, this is the original footage. As you can see, we still have a lot of space here. Our highlight is not crashing, our shadows is not crashing, but immediately you put your conversion LUT, you see what it does. It crushes your highlight and also your shadow. You can see details in the sky is already gone, even though our highlight recovery is activated, but we've lost a lot of detail in the highlight, and we've lost a lot of detail in the shadow. So this is one disadvantage of using LUTs. It just crushes your shadow, and at times you have to go through several conversion LUTs before you get the perfect one that will actually look good for your footage, even though it's for the same camera. Compared to a CST, a color space transform. Now let me deactivate the Rec 709 LUT. If you put a color space transform, look at what happens. Now you see how it brings my color. It's not oversaturated. Even look at the shift in the parade here. If you look at the parade, you see how it moves. We still have enough space in the highlight and enough space in the shadow to bring in more contrast and try and adjust the footage to what we want. So because of this, we still have a lot of room now to do our white balance, which I did in order to play with our highlight, our shadows, which I did quickly here with my HDR. So as you can see, the color space transform, which is the CST, it actually helps you to build proper color science. It accurately converts your footage from one color space and gamma to another while preserving the dynamic range and color information, as you can see. So let me show you how you can actually apply your CST, which you can get from the effect panel here. I'm just going to run you through the basic setting because this is a beginner's tutorial, so I wouldn't want to go into complicated section of it. I'm just going to show you the basic part, which you can always use to do your project quickly. I'm going to add an extra node here, Option S, and I'm gonna bring the node down here. So let me deactivate this CST, which is here already. Deactivate every other node. So you come here to effect, and then you can always come to your search and just type in color. Once you start typing, you see this color space transform. You just drag it and you put it on your node, as simple as that. Right now, nothing has happened yet. So what you're going to do next is you come to your input color space. Now your input color space, this information, you get it from your camera. So most of the times you want to ask the production house the information, the camera setting information, the log profile. So this footage here, as you can see, is a Blackmagic. From the raw profile here, we can see our color space is Blackmagic Design and our gamma is Blackmagic Design Film. So when you come here, there are different options for different cameras. Whatever your camera is, the log profile option is here. So you can see X gamut, X gamut 3, that's for Sony. Everything is here. Red is here. You can see all cameras are here. And you can see with Blackmagic, they've got a lot. So you need to know the specific setting. As you can see, Blackmagic Design Film Gen 1, Blackmagic Design 4K Film Gen 1, Blackmagic Design 4K Film Gen 3, 4K Gen 3, 4.6K Gen 1, there until you get to Blackmagic Video Gen 5. So with this, I'm gonna use 4K Gen 1. Right, I'm gonna use 4K Gen 1. From my input gamma, I can see here is Blackmagic Design Film, obviously. It's a Video Gen 4. So I'm gonna look for it, Blackmagic Design Video Gen 4. Here it is. And I click it. Once I click, this is what it gives me, right? So we've been able to take our footage from here to here. And then your output color space. Remember, we're converting our footage from log to Rec 709 so that it can play on different platforms. So here, I often leave mine here because I always do the setting from my project. So if you come here to your setting panel and you go to color management. So what I do is my color science space here, I leave it on DaVinci Y RGB. Some people will use color manage, whatever it is, but this is a basic tutorial for beginners. So I go to DaVinci Y RGB and then timeline color space. I put mine and Rec 709 gamma 2.4. That's what I use. There are different options, but I use Rec 709 gamma 2.4 and my output color space is set as timeline. My output color space is same as timeline. So with this setting here, I save it. So because I save this setting, automatically that setting is what translates here. So I don't need to put it again here because it's already inputted in my project setting. So whenever I start up a project, automatically on my CST by default, it's always there. So I would advise you to also do that, so that you don't need to keep inputting it every now and then. So that's why, so right now this footage has moved from log profile to Rec 709, and that is how you set up your CST. So you can see we still have a lot of room to control our highlight, our shadow, and to play around our footage to give it the look and feel which you want compared to using a lot. So let's copy this grade and put on a different footage and let's see how it behaves. So if you want to copy your grade from a particular shot to a different flat shot, you can just click on the footage and you right click on the one you want to copy the grade from and you go to apply grade. All right, and look at what we have here. So this is the CST. As you can see, this is applying the color space transform. You can see it looks very good. The sky looks beautiful. Everything looks very nice. I added just a little bit of saturation. But now when I deactivate the CST and I use the Rec 709, look at what it has. So let me deactivate every other thing and just use the Rec 709 alone. So you can see we've lost a little bit of information in the shadow area compared to the CST. Look at the CST. What it does, it converted it to Rec 709. And then when you just work on your contrast, use your HDR and just balance your footage properly, you get this. Another key difference is that with your LUTs, you are highly limited. One of the things which you can do with your LUT is just to control or reduce the intensity, right? Which is by you coming here where you have the key you come to your key panel here, and you go to your key output. As you can see, my lot is here converted to conversion lot to Rec 709. So you come to the key, you come to your key, and you come to the key output. Right here, you reduce the intensity. Now look at what's happening to my image. As you can see, so you see what happened? Now we've totally taken it out, and you can decide to dial it back in, but immediately you get to about 0.2 thereabout, you're already beginning to lose details here, as you can see. So this is one thing you can do with your lot. When you put your conversion lot and it's too strong, you can always reduce the intensity, However, this is not a very good way to approach your project when you want it to come out in very high quality. So you can even increase it if you want. You see that? That's another thing you can do with your LUT. But with CST, you're good to go. Now, when you use your LUTs, it's not always reliable across different cameras or lighting condition. Now, let's use a different footage to show this. So this is a basic footage of a guy and a girl, climbing the mountain. And you can see it's shot in Blackmagic RAW. Right, Blackmagic RAW. Now, if we're to use our LUTs, like from here, you can get your LUT, Blackmagic LUTs. Now, look at this. I applied a LUT here. Let me deactivate this one here. I applied a LUT here, and look at what we have. Now, you can see how this LUT behaved. It actually overexposed our highlight. Let's change it to our parade so we can see. Look at how our parade is behaving. Originally, it's like this. And let's see, our highlight recovery is also activated. So you can see what it gives us. Our highlight is, when I activate it, you see how it's blown up. Okay, we still have room in our shadow area, but you can see the image is already looking kind of bad. The sky is totally blown out. Let's put a different LUT. Let's see. Now look at this. You see, with this LUT now, conversion LUT to Rec 709, it actually gave us a good representation. You can still see details in the sky. I hope you can see it due to the compression of YouTube. We still have details here. Our shadow is not crushed at all. This is the sky part. Our midtones is still there. We can actually work from here. It's more like a 50-50 chance. You might see a lot that actually converts properly, and you might not see. You can also try a different LUT. Let's try a different LUT. Let's see. Look at this. Bad, 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 bad. Pretty fair, workable. So you see, you have to search. This is not bad at all. We still see details in the highlight. However, instead of you stressing, trying to look for a LUT that fits your footage, just understand CST and go use your CST to get better quality control of your footage. As you can see from the examples which is being given here, LUTs combine your technical and creative adjustment in one step, which might not necessarily be an advantage, but CST keeps your workflow clean, allowing you to separate correction from your creative grading, which is what you want when you actually want to do a very good job. Okay, so without saying too much, LUTs are quick, but CST is precise, flexible, and professional. I want you to tell me, which method do you think is best? Which one do you use for your projects? Let's meet in the comment section. Remember to subscribe. Thank you very much.